develop a high income skill at a younger age to help you out towards the future. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, it is down to the bottom right, the little thing that says click me. Please do that because that's the only way that it helps me grow to get out to more people such as yourself that are clicking on the channel. So if you guys hadn't noticed, the only thing that's left behind me here is that safari hat because I am going to be here on my way to Georgia here shortly. So I am a Medtronic spine rep. I have been working for Medtronic, but got a management position with another company. So I will be heading down to Atlanta to start that here soon. So being in a space that has a high income, or medical sales is known to have high income, I wanted to talk about the benefits of some of these and why other young people should be trying to do that. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So number one, you become very, very marketable to other employers, other jobs, when you have a high in-demand skill. For example, if you're in tech sales or anything in tech or any kind of med device sales or something like that, when you have experience in that, you become marketable to other people so that you can actually take that high income, go to another company, get even a higher income, and they'll pay more to take you from a competing company to another company. So when you have these kinds of skills, people will pay highly for them, and that's why, they are highly sought after so that you can be very, very competitive in your marketplace. Number two, it's just the fact that it makes life so much easier. Because when you have more money, when bad things happen, you don't have to go into credit card debt, other kinds of debt. You don't have to take from your emergency fund if you have enough in reserve somewhere else. So if you have more, by default, that means things become easier because life will happen, things break, high cost ticket items do appear. So if you can set yourself up to protect yourself later on, it makes way more sense to do so rather than to try and spend your time in a job or a situation that will not pay you as highly as another one. And another thing too, I also wanted to say, it's not necessarily harder work. I want to give you an example here. So if I was a grocery store clerk, let's say I was scanning items and putting them in a bag. If I was the number one grocery store scanner in the whole entire country, that probably wouldn't get me much more money than a guy that is doing a lot less work. So with that being said, if you're the number one sales guy on a sales team, you're probably going to be paid much more than the guy that is much lower tier on the sales ranking. So finding a job that gets paid on performance rather than your time is the way to go. So with that being said, the sales guy, he's pretty much just running his mouth all day. If you're the number one bagger at Walmart or something like that, you're probably physically exhausted. So it's a different kind of hard, but a lot of the times these jobs that are, very high performance based don't have that much of a physical toll on your body. So for some, that might be good. For others, they might like working with their hands, etc. But I did just want to say that it's not necessarily that much harder work. So the next topic is if you just use your 20s and you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're in my I want to live it up kind of era, that sets up your 30s terribly. I never agreed with this at all when I was in school. I always wanted to work and sort of slave away at my 20s to set myself up in my 30s because, I don't think there's going to be much difference from my 20s to 30s in physicality as long as you take care of yourself. It's not like, at least for me, once I get into my 30s, I'm just all of a sudden going to become old. But all of a sudden, things will become more expensive when you start having families, kids, cars, mortgages, all that kind of stuff. So I always wanted to set myself up for it as much as I possibly could earlier on to help future self. So it will help you out when you're older to have more of a high-paying job right off the bat. Also, it can get you the finer things in life. So, who doesn't like coming home to a bigger home than the one that they have? A lot of people like being comfortable. Each person's definition of comfortable is going to be different for them. But if you're living in an area which you wouldn't define as being comfortable, you're not going to find that enjoyable. So obviously, more money means a better opportunity, more chances to do things that are going to put you in that comfort zone, so to speak. So you might as well, if you're working 40 hours for someone, you might as well make it something that's going to be worth your time to set you up down the road. And if I've started learning anything, so I'm 26 now, everything is just sort of a race against time. Sort of how quickly can you get something done to set yourself up for the future. So it really depends when you start. Some people start at 18 and they start with good money habits and start developing that high income skill. It becomes much easier for them. Some people start when they're 40, which still isn't bad. Everybody has different circumstances, but as soon as you start treating it like it's sort of a race against time, and when are you going to start? doing that and treating it as such to set yourself up for a better life down the line, I think that's when you'll start having some success with this. So please subscribe, leave a like on the video. It's the only way I grow. Thank you very much, and see you next time.